It's time for another tale from the glass-guarded world, with Brian as Paxton the human cleric and fighter, Danielle as Athelflaed the halfling rogue and monk, Ashley as Tara Dane the human fighter, Chris as Aster Fortuna the half-elf rogue and bard, and me, Mike, as the DM. They have finally arrived. After a great deal of traveling, our heroes have trekked across the Iron Empire and stand at the Eastern Bubble, a giant vesicle in the glass wall of the world. They've discovered that a large stone is set up against the wall here, and now it's time to figure out why this place is supposed to be important. It was Mun the Immortal, the strange wizard, who sent them here. Was it worth the time and the risk? And what will they do next?
Continuing to move along through the snow. It's getting stronger and stronger, and then as you start to get closer to the bubble, you see that there's not just a bubble by the wall, there's also a large mound of stone that has been set up right up against the wall. A large rock. And by large, it's probably 50 feet high and maybe 100 feet wide. This giant stone that has been set right up, or is set right up against the wall, right where the bubble is. Through the snow, you occasionally see weird patterns or shapes or something on the rock, on this large stone.
Like carvings?
Maybe carvings? It's hard to see because your visibility is so poor. Epilema says, yeah, if I could read, I would say that's writing, but I can't read. So, I don't know what that says.
She can totally read.
No, I can't read. So, you guys will have to tell me what all that says on that big thing there. Because I can't read.
If we could take a guess, what do you think it probably would say?
I can't tell from here. We'll have to get closer.
Okay.
So you get closer to this giant stone by the wall. And there are lots of things written on it. You can see all over this stone are all sorts of words saying all sorts of different things that I'll talk about in a moment. But some of them are even written on top of or across each other. And they've all been carved into the stone. And a lot of them say something along the theme of, pray to us, talk to us, we're here, please, lots of please, 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 please pray to us, where are you, we're still here. And some of them say, you've got to get out, or just exit. And the ones that are closest to the ground are some of the largest bits of writing. As they move farther up, they're smaller. But you can also see in the very middle of the stone the largest sets of words. There's a large sentence that goes across the middle of the stone. Actually, a series of them. And the first one says, I leave you these messages for your benefit. Heed them and you may yet survive after so many others failed. And below that is another sentence. And it says, your world is a trap, but do not try to escape until the right time. The outside may be worse. And below that, it says, when a river ceases to function, you have perhaps 50 years left. The turn will come quickly, so you must consider escape. And below that, it says, do not break through the walls. That would destroy your world and everyone in it. But there's more below that. And it says, when it is time to free yourselves of the world, shatter the soul jar. The liberated souls will know what to do. And you think you see something below that too, but it's partly buried.
Can I use the mage hand? Try to...
That would take a long time.
Okay.
Like how buried? Like how much digging would it take to get that part out?
Probably a few hours of digging would do it.
I feel like this is the thing that we came for. So
Yeah.
You can
Start
see this
digging.
giant bubble in the wall behind it, this area of glass that looks less thick. You can see there must be air or a pocket of something on the other side of it. You don't see anything moving or anything like that over there. And it just looks dark outside on the other... it looks like just darkness on the other side of the glass. but you can see this glass.
Does it look like the giant stone is blocking an opening into the bubble?
You can't see that if there is one. I will say, as you sort of move the dirt around to see how deep you might need to go, you pretty quickly encounter refuse. You find a few copper coins. You find some scraps of cloth. You find some tools, not stoneworking tools, but like some wooden tools. Yeah, find just odds and ends.
This isn't like, doesn't look like offerings or anything. It's just stuff that people have left.
Yeah, it looks like stuff that's been left here. Some of the coins might be offerings. It's hard to tell. Everything's been here so long that pretty much anything that could rot away has either rotted away or mostly rotted away.
As we're digging, can we make out any more of the words that
Sure.
we're uncovering?
If you keep digging, eventually you can see it says...
While you guys are digging, you said it'd take a few hours. Can I sit back and rest?
Short rest or
Like
long
a
rest?
short rest.
Yeah, take a short rest.
Thanks for your help, Aster.
How many hit points do you regain from your short rest?
Can I use one of the abilities that I have?
Yeah, are you going to use your Song of Rest?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I got 4 hit points back from the Song of Rest.
Right. Are you expending any hit dice? So you're a thief bard, right? So
Yes.
those are both D6, I think?
1d8s.
Oh, 1d8s. Okay,
So I'll use 1 for the rogue.
Okay.
So it will be 6 plus 4.
So 10 hit points back.
Mhm.
All right.
So how far away are you from Max?
About 12. 12 away.
12? I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him as well.
Oh, thank you.
Creature you touch regains a number of hit points equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. So for me, it's 1d8 plus 3, and then plus an additional 3 because I'm a life domain.
So 1d8 plus 6.
8. Get 8 back.
So I'm at 29.
Yep. All right. So Epilema is helping you dig, trying to use her battle axe. But, it's slow going. You don't have proper digging tools. But you do eventually uncover a 6th statement, and it says, "Be kind to each other and trade peacefully. Use knowledge, tools, nature, and magic in moderation and for good."
Moderation.
Paxton, you notice that there is another saying under that.
Is it even more buried?
Yes.
Let's keep digging.
Yep.
Can I engage in helping this time?
Yes, if you'd like, you can help. All right, so after several more hours of work, and now it's evening and getting really cold, you can see this last one, and it says, "Know that I loved you all more than I loved myself. I used the last of my power and died so that you might live."
Is this person?
Foresight, dummy.
I mean, the individual who died. Oh, his name is Foresight?
Apparently, that's what we know. I think what we know is that Foresight is the only named god that there's ever been in this setting, right?
Right. And you can see that there are other bits of writing that sort of overlap with these sentences, but these sentences are carved so deep that they're still easily visible, even with all the other bits of text.
What do the ones say on the stuff that we've uncovered newly?
They're similar to the other ones that you've seen. Pray to us, call to us. One of them says, "I am the Sky Father. Worship me."
Okay.
So the pray to us, talk to us, please, please, please thing makes me think that this is like observer related. So thinking about my experience with the doors to the observer rooms from before, I take off my gauntlet and put my bare hand on the rock to see if anything happens.
Remember how at the Western bubble you had that buzzing feeling in your head as you got closer to the bubble, right? You feel a similar sensation now. You feel like there's someone talking and you can almost hear them.
If I sit down to meditate to really clear my mind and focus on that voice.
Well, you sit down and you meditate, you try to focus. It feels like someone is pleading to you, but you can't understand or hear them.
Are they saying my name, or are they just...
No.
So I don't know if they're pleading to me, or maybe just pleading in general.
Right.
Do you tell this?
Yeah, Paxton sits down and puts his hand on the wall.
I don't necessarily say anything about it because I don't know how to express it. Like, I don't know how to describe it without making it sound like I'm going crazy. So,
I am gonna try and see if there's anything below number 7. Like if I see any other carvings.
Sure. All right. You dig down a bit further, have a look around. You don't see any signs of additional large statements. The last one is the one in which it says that I died for you and I love you.
Okay, that makes sense.
so I've got some ink pens and paper and stuff in Finn's from Finn.
Okay.
I write all this stuff down to make sure that I've got it, exactly word for word, numbered out and everything, because this is talking to the rest of the team like this is what we came here for, right?
Yeah.
So mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I believe it says, so yeah, I don't know what it says. You're going to have to tell me what it says, right?
I think you know what it says.
I tell Epilema what it says.
Oh, hey, that's really interesting.
Do you not like reading?
No, readings for chumps. Yeah, I don't read.
You know, where I
Tough
come,
people like me who don't read.
where I come, they say that the bravest and strongest warriors are readers.
Yeah, come from Wimpland, huh?
They're pretty tough, I think.
So what's the education like here in the Iron Empire?
Well, I mean, it's pretty good, but for us barbarians, we have other things to do.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna try to use my persuasion, which is not great. Let's see what it is. My persuasion is +0, but I'm going to try to goad Epilema into admitting that she knows how to read and saying that she's a good reader by saying,
Can I inspire him?
Sure.
I'm gonna sing to Paxton. You can show her the world. Teach her to be a lot braver. She'll finally tell you that she can read if she only stretches out her hand. That's it.
All right.
You
All
have
right.
D6 Bardic
There you
Inspiration.
go.
She looks at Aster and says, "Wow, they're not only wimps, they're crazy, huh? What's up with you? What are you doing?"
I make beautiful melodies that soothe the soul.
So I'm trying to kind of goad her into admitting that she knows how to read by saying, like, you're the only one here that can't read. Some would say that that's a weakness.
All right.
That only the weak can't read.
Make your persuasion check, or I would let that be intimidation too, if you wanted to.
Well, it's +0 either way.
All right.
So what does my bardic inspiration give me?
So you have a 1d6 to add to your roll.
Oh, okay. That is a 16.
Maybe I know a little bit. I can read. I know my letters. Yeah, I know my letters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I can read a little bit.
I think the strongest people usually carry some sort of book around with them.
I mean, I got a book, but it's not important. It's not a big deal. I got my axe. That's what's important.
You got a book with you?
You saw me with that book the other day. You know I
Ooh.
have a book. Hey, you shut up.
Can we see it?
No, it's my book.
I mean, I'd be interested in knowing what a strong person such as yourself chooses to read in
So
their
back
downtime.
to these words on this wall up here.
Is it an epic legend or a romance novel?
I don't know. I can't read it very well. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so these words on the wall. What's your plan now? Oh, yeah, I got you here. Where's my gold? Yeah.
Yeah,
where's my gold?
from the 500 gold that we got from Mun that was supposed to go to Sigbert, I give her 100 of it.
All right. She puts it in her pocket. Well, she puts it in her backpack, I guess. That's a lot of gold.
Hey, Epilema.
Yeah. What is it, weirdo?
Would you like me to read the book for you?
No, I wouldn't.
Tara's gonna check out the bubble. See, I mean, people were trying to break into the other one. Do we see anyone along this one? Is everyone just ignoring it?
That's a good idea. So you explore that area. You see signs of old structures having been put up against this bubble, but they have all fallen down, and you don't see any sign of anyone trying to break through. You don't see any sign that anyone has broken through, unless there's something on the other side of this big stone.
Paxton,
Yes.
I think I'm wearing her down. I think she likes me.
Poor you.
I go to the other side of the stone.
Well, the stone is right up against the wall. You mean like the other, you were on the right, and now you go to the left? Is that what
Yeah.
you mean? Yeah, okay. All right. Same thing. There are ruins of wooden structures here, but they have all fallen down and rotted, and you can find occasionally some iron nails. There's not much to be seen here. This is a rough climate for structures to stand up to.
Do you have any insight as to whether it's just like people don't want to come to the Iron Empire to try and break through, or?
Epilema says, well, if I really wanted to come here, I'd have to get through the Iron Empire and the weather and the undead and make sure that the dwarves didn't think I was out to steal their metal. So, yeah, I don't think that a lot of people want to come out here.
Okay.
Looks like they used to, though.
In addition to that, I want to, it's just us breaking the soul jar. What do I know about kind of like folk legend of breaking the soul jar?
I'm going to give you advantage on this check because you're from Arrival, so make a history check.
Yep. Thank goodness I got advantage. 4. My other roll was a 1.
I'm also from Arrival.
You're okay, yeah, you can also make a check. Kara, all you know is that you've heard people say that would be bad.
Tara napped through history class, even though I'm advantaged in it.
15.
Tara only has heard that it would probably be bad to hurt it. Aster, you know that the soul jar is considered sacred. No one knows where it came from. It's always been there. And it is guarded night and day. And that everyone thinks it would be terrible to do damage to it. Because that would let all those souls inside out, and that might be bad. Be like letting loose a bunch of ghosts.
Okay, and I say that.
It would be terrible, meaning Tara would be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, so what do you want to do? Epilema says, all right, well, you've written down all your little wimpy words. You ready to go back to the west? What's the plan?
Well,
I don't think there's anything else there for us to do. Is there no inhabitants? Everything is barren. So.
Yeah, there's not much here.
Yeah.
Just ruins and remains.
do you know anywhere we could get some nice shoes?
Oh yeah.
Some nice shoes, huh? Well, I mean, we could go to the big city. I'm sure we could find someone with some nice shoes. What do you need nice shoes for?
To get back home quickly.
I think going to a big city might not be a great idea for our party right now.
I agree.
Well, yeah, there's 3. There's a city of 3. You could go there, but I don't really understand how shoes. You just think you'll walk faster with nicer shoes? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
We have a friend who's really into footwear.
I don't want to know. Never mind.
Yeah.
So, should we stop for the day? You guys look a little tired from digging. Rest here, take a break, and get going tomorrow.
That sounds good to me.
Sure.
Are we camping next to the rock?
I guess there's a little bit of shelter here, a little bit of.
Yeah, because isn't it snowing?
Yeah.
Is it cold? Yeah, so we probably seek shelter. And
I mean, you dug a nice big hole here. We could, climb into that.
If we're gonna be camping next to the rock, then I feel like there's something special about the rock, and that I would be remiss if I didn't try everything that I could while we're here. So I'm going to spend the rest of the day, like, meditating while touching the rock and, like, trying to put the little dent in the back of my head into the rock, and, like, every permutation of messing with the rock to try to unlock something.
All right. So, Paxton, you spend the day, messing around with this rock. And as you do, you, just out of the corner of your eye, you catch some flakes of rock falling off of it. And in fact, you can see that there's some new carving appearing.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to stand and watch it? I mean, it's
Yeah.
very slowly, little bits of rock are flaking off. And you can see a depression forming where this rock was. And it just says, is someone there?
Are there any, like, pieces of rock on the ground that I could use to carve back? Or scrape a message?
You could bash a message or scratch a message with your mace, I suppose.
Well, I want to touch the is someone there and just, like, either say yes and think with my mind yes, like try to psychically pulse back to communicate.
Okay. Nothing happens.
use my mace and I try to scratch yes
Okay.
into the rock.
Nothing happens, but below that, after a while, another bit of lettering starts to appear, and it just says, "Pray to us."
Okay.
Do the rest of us see this?
I don't know. Are you watching Paxton?
Yeah,
I
mean,
am.
In real life, I was watching.
Yeah.
So I get down on my knees and place my forehead onto the rock,
Okay.
and I'm trying to, like, say, I don't know, open my mind to any sort of voice to come in, like clear a space in my mind for someone to talk to me, and kind of put it out there that I want to communicate with whatever's there.
You feel that buzzing get a little stronger in your head, but there's just something that's not working. There's something wrong.
Tara is going to take her longsword
Mm-hmm.
because she doesn't mind the blade getting dull on that, and try and carve "Who is us?"
Okay. You take some time and carve that out, but nothing happens. I mean, the words "Who is us" appear on the wall, but nothing. There's no response.
I say, with my mind, like, "Oh, Foresight, please guide us and help us save the world."
Okay. Nothing happens.
But it's pray to us, not pray to me.
Well, some of the words on the wall say "Pray to me,"
Okay.
but this one said "Pray to us."
Maybe it's the royal us. I mean, he's God.
These new bits of words are very shallow. They're not deep at all. They're much shallower than some of the other words you can see on the wall.
So is the us any different from the me? Is that shallow?
No. I mean, they're
They're about the same
about the
depth?
same. Yeah.
Okay.
What if I asked directly,
I'm going to give you guys a couple more bits of information because you're spending a lot of time going over this wall. You see some other things that are written. In addition to the words that say, "I am Skyfather," you also see someone who has written, "I am Throng of Battle." And another person has written, "I am Cow-Eyed Mistress."
Up to this point, I've heard what they've told me about what they're doing and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Foresight is a god, the only known god that we know.
Right,
I've seen that it says, pray to us. He wrote yes on the wall.
right.
Would that be okay to surmise that I might have an idea
Of
forming in my head about what this is, what this could possibly be?
I have to leave it up to you guys to figure that out.
Okay, so I say to the group, so we pray to me, who's Foresight, and now we read that there's a throng of battle and a cow-eyed mistress. And then we saw that it said, pray to us. What if there's actually more than one god? And they exist outside these walls? That would be incredible. It'd be a finding of history.
Can I call on Dunstan for any possible clues?
All right. Yeah, go ahead and roll a history check.
16.
All right. Dunstan was quite emphatic that there are no gods. He believed quite strongly that there are no gods, and he didn't think that that there was even a Foresight. He thought that was even. He was skeptical about the cult of Foresight. However, he had told you that there have maybe been in the past people who believed in other gods, but they're even less credible than the cult of Foresight.
Do you relay that information to
I do.
us?
Yeah. All right.
So Tara,
But you've
Darn.
never heard of any of these names.
Right.
Skyfather, Cow-Eyed Mistress, Throng of Battle. You've never heard of any of these.
Tara turns to the party and says, "Well, it seems like we got two options. We can go back to Mun, or we can go to a rival. I don't think my folks are gonna like me breaking the soul jar."
So, according to the truths of Foresight, once the rivers break, we only have a set amount of time. We shouldn't try to escape until the right time, but it sounds like once the rivers start breaking, that is the right time. And the way to escape at the right time is by breaking the soul jar. So breaking the soul jar is what we think we want to do next.
Now,
Mun told us that we should either report the truth back to him or maybe do as they say. Mm,
I have never met this Mun. I've heard of Mun. Never met Mun. But what if these aren't gods? What if there's apparitions, something evil, if we break these glass? What if we are releasing something dark?
but we know, or we knew many of the souls that are in the jar. They're not all dark people.
No, not the souls. What if we're releasing something evil? Maybe these aren't gods. Maybe Thrawn of Battle is not a god we want to be releasing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that Throng of Battle is in the soul jar. He's just on the rock.
I'm gonna try one last thing of while I'm like praying to the rock. I pray to the Sky Father. I pray to the Throng of Battle. I pray to the Cow-Eyed Mistress. Please help us.
Okay, you pray to each of them. The buzzing gets a little louder. You feel like you're doing something, but your action is insignificant. That is, you feel like you have just put a drop of water into an ocean.
Do you tell us what you're doing?
Yeah, I tell you that I'm trying to heed the advice of the rock and make something happen, but nothing's happening.
How am I supposed to pray?
Beats me. Obviously, I'm not the person to ask. I haven't been very successful.
Well, in general, how do you pray?
It's not something people do in your world.
Yeah.
I've seen in the observer rooms that it says to kneel and commune in peace, so that's why I'm kneeling and trying to commune.
Okay.
But that's all I
Tara
know.
tries to kneel and pray to the Sky Father, the Throng of Battle, and the Cow-Eyed Mistress.
I'm gonna do that too.
Me too.
Yeah, say all of us are doing it in unison.
She tells Epilema to do the same thing.
I'm curious to hear what she says about that.
All right, so you all kneel and try praying to these different names. And for the first time, you feel like, Paxton keeps saying, you've told them you have this buzzing sensation, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you feel like you maybe can also feel a very slight tingle, slight buzzing sensation in your head, but it's very faint. Maybe you're imagining it.
This is the first time I hear about this. What is this?
But again, much like Paxton, you feel like you're not really accomplishing much.
So we're hearing the buzzing too?
You're hearing or feeling a slight buzzing sensation, but actually it goes away in just a little bit.
Is it any stronger for Paxton?
Yeah, Paxton feels it more strongly than you do.
Mm-hmm.
But with all of us doing it, does he feel... I asked
You
him.
don't feel
but-
any different.
It seems to spike whenever I'm attempting to pray, but it's not spiking any harder than it did whenever I prayed on my own, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, it feels like you've got an eyedropper and you put a drop into this giant ocean and your friends each put a half of a drop, and it's just the difference is not detectable.
In extreme frustration, I whip out my mace and begin pounding furiously against the rock and screaming.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Paxton wigs out and begins beating on the wall.
Whoa.
And
On the rock, not
on
the wall.
Well, I'm sorry, on the rock. And Epilema says, "Whoa, man, chill out. You're gonna
Prayer
hurt
is
yourself."
intense.
All right. Well, she just steps back and watches you.
Hmm. I basically just go until I get tuckered out. And
All right.
and then
You
quit.
knock a big hole. It's relatively soft rock,
Yeah.
right? And you knock a big hole in it, damage some of the words, but there's no response.
No soft nougat center on the rock or
No,
anything like
no
that.
Cadbury filling on the inside.
It's too bad.
It seems like it might be time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
You set up your camp next to the wall. Epilema suggests that you use your excavation as a shelter from the wind and the elements. And she wants to know, for tomorrow, what's the plan? What do you guys want to do? Is there Or is there something you're talking about now that you're all here and not digging and working or marching?
I feel like we have a lot to think about. Because breaking the glass jar seems like a big thing to ask of us. And I feel like Tara's like, do I need permission?
Yeah, I feel like if we went and tried to break the glass jar just, without telling anyone, we'd probably get super arrested and in big time trouble, and we don't really have the background knowledge of, what the glass jar is or why we might want to break it, so...
Or how to break it.
Yeah.
That's because we might get away in all the chaos, but we gotta, definitely break it the first chance.
Yeah.
Because we're going to become war criminals or something. Something crazy is going to happen.
Well, yeah, we will be terrorists.
Yeah, we'll be the worst of the worst.
I mean, technically, we're all already kind of criminals, but
That's true.
I feel like maybe going back and talking to Mun and telling him what we've found, he might be able to help us come up with a plan and give us some support for how we might successfully break the soul jar.
And we can talk to Carlton the Cruel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he'll have some great wall glass breaking ideas. I'm not going to tell him. I'm just...
I think we should talk to Mun first, even though I've never met Mun.
Oh, yeah, you should probably meet Mun.
And
You'll like him, just don't make fun of the way he talks.
Well, Epilema says, I don't know. I think you guys are crazy. You talking about breaking the glass, that jar. I never seen it, but seems like a stupid idea. I wouldn't even think about it. On the other hand, if you're gonna do it, I say just do it. I mean, asking permission, that's stupid. Just do a thing if you're gonna do it.
Yeah, we all just kind of stare at her and like, so we're going to talk to Mun, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk to Mun and make sure we have a great plan.
Yeah.
I've heard of this Mun. Is he as amazing as everybody says?
Define amazing.
Magical prowess.
Sure. Yeah, he's got that.
Lumpin will say a bunch of nice things about him.
Will he, though?
Ooh. Oh. Got dark.
Lumpin, how do you feel about Mun?
I feel compelled to say that he's a nice wizard who, cares very much about the people of Munville.
Lumpin has my favorite character development of all people.
I like what you said, young tablecloth.
I'm actually pretty old,
Oh.
sort of.
How old are you?
I mean, I guess it depends on how much time I've spent awake. It's complicated.
How old are you in rag years?
I don't know.
You look great for your age.
Thanks?
How do you feel about breaking the soul jar?
I don't know. Do I have a soul?
I truly don't know. Magic is not my thing.
He's Pinocchio.
I don't know. Sure. I guess, do you think this Foresight guy is worth trusting?
I don't think we have much of a choice.
He's been right about all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you think you've got a better idea, then do the better idea.
We should talk to Mun because at the end of the day, we don't know what the right time to break the glass is, do we?
Mm-mm. And it seems like Mun already had some kind of inside baseball knowledge that he wasn't quite telling us. And if he thought that the truths of Foresight would help us figure out what we should do, I mean, they definitely did help. So, he's batting 1 for 1 so far.
Okay. Well, you head to sleep. Are you keeping watches?
Yeah, may as well.
Lumpin is just going to stay up all night because he doesn't need to sleep. But he thinks it'd probably be wise to have someone else up as well.
Okay. I can do the first
watch.
If you
I'll do the last watch specifically.
I'll do the second.
I'll do third.
All right, that leaves Epilema as 4th watch.
No, I wanted to do the last watch with Epilema, if that's possible.
Ah, okay.
But I'm gonna pretend to be asleep. I want to see if she reads that book again.
Tell me it's a romance novel, please.
That'd be amazing.
Ethelflad, your watch passes peacefully. As I mentioned before, you occasionally think you see some figure moving around in the snow drifts, the blowing snow, but nothing is approaching.
Can I do a perception
Sure.
check?
Ethelflad's perception bonus is 2. All right, you're looking real carefully. You think you can make out some of these figures look kind of like they're shambling around, like they're not walking real elegantly, but they don't seem to be coming any closer.
Floating or
Not
just
floating,
kind of like
actually walking,
kind
kind of a shuffling, shambling walk.
like an undead?
Yeah, that
Shuffling?
would be or someone who is heavily burdened with a weight or badly frostbitten.
Oof. Okay.
White Walkers.
Ah!
All right, and that's Ethelflad's watch.
And then next person in watch, I inform them of
Okay.
Okay.
what I've noticed.
You've got it. I'll keep an eye out.
Esther, you keep an eye out. You also see some of these figures walking around, but again, they don't come any closer. You think you see some of them even look more slender, or there's less substance to them than the others. Some of them look like they're ordinary person size, and some are the same height, but there's less to them, less substance to them.
Huh.
And nothing happens, though. Tara, it's your watch.
I'll tell her that information.
All right.
Okay.
And Tara, you keep an eye out, but you don't see anything.
Welp. Tara needs glasses.
Yeah, you could have failed your perception check, or maybe there's nothing to see. Epilema takes her watch next. Are you going to fill her in as well, or just...
You know, everyone else said they like saw stuff in the snow, but I guess they're just paranoid or whatever, but keep an eye out.
All right. Hope something comes by. I need some action. Tired of digging and sitting.
As soon as I get enough sleep, that's great for me.
Epilema takes her watch. She's expecting to wake Paxton up. Is that what you're doing? Is you're telling her you're taking a watch after her, or...
Yeah,
Okay.
but whenever I hear her set up for watch, I want to watch what she does.
Okay. All right. Well, she is keeping a very careful eye out. In fact, she doesn't even touch her pack, and she's watching the snow. She's actually got her axe in her hands.
All right, then I gotta nod off and catch a few D's before it's actually my turn then.
Okay. All right. Well, she wakes you up, and she tells you that she didn't see anything the whole time.
Okay.
You take your watch, and Lumpen is also keeping watch. He's sitting with I guess with Finn's spellbook, studying it, and also keeping watch. Paxton, when you go to take your watch, Lumpen says, "Hey, can I sit next to you?
Sure.
Can I ask you some questions?"
Totally. Go for it.
Okay. I'm not distracting you from keeping watch, right?
No, you just let me know if you see anything, and we'll both keep watch.
And your perception bonus is 3. And I'm also going to do one for Lumpen as well, which I should have been doing. And on the other watches... Well, first, I wondered, what did you learn first? Healing or fighting? Or did you always do both?
It's kind of a tricky question. I think that I knew how to fight a long time ago, but I forgot, so I just healed for a while.
Huh. And then you decided to do fighting again.
Yeah, I felt like it came back to me.
Okay. And, what do you think is better? What does that mean? You don't want to do as much healing?
I think that there's a time and a place for both, and whichever one's better is whichever one you and the people that you love need the most at the moment.
Well, what do you think would make the world a better place? More healing or more fighting?
It'd be great if we lived in a world where we didn't need to fight, but until that's the situation, I think that we'll always need to fight against people who want to do us and the people we love harm.
But I mean, what should I do? I mean, I can't really heal people with magic like you can. Does that mean all I can do is fight?
Not necessarily. What can you do?
I can clean stuff.
Well, I mean, the world needs that just as much as it needs healers and fighters. There's definitely a place for that.
I have another question. Do you hear that sound?
What sound are you talking about?
All right, so you stop and you listen again. And now you can hear it. You hear a low moaning sound.
Are you talking about that low moaning sound?
Yeah, that sounds a little weird. I haven't heard that before now.
Yeah, me neither.
That, I saw some stuff moving around earlier, but I haven't heard anything until now.
How far away does it sound like it is?
Using the perception check that you rolled a moment ago, it seemed to be coming from almost every direction, and it's not immediate, but it's getting louder.
About how close are we to the end of my watch shift?
You're getting close.
Getting close?
Yeah,
Okay,
the sun's not fully lit yet, but it is getting a little bit brighter.
So if I go ahead and wake everyone up, it's not like I'm cheating them out of a whole lot of sleep.
No, especially since you had so many people taking watch. It's fine.
All right, I quietly tell Lumpin to go wake everybody up and tell them to be quiet and listen for that low moaning sound.
Everyone, you get up, you get on your armor, you get on your equipment, and you can also hear this moaning sound getting closer.
What do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Well, it said that they're undead out here, so that's my bet.
Yeah, but we've been seeing undead all night, and we didn't hear that moaning sound then. Like, none of you heard it during your watch, right?
I didn't hear moaning, but I saw something moving around like an undead.
Nothing happened here.
And there was the ones that look smaller than the others, like normal people. There could be something dastardly happening.
True.
Well, as you're keeping a lookout, standing in your hole, looking out into the swirling snow, you can see now some humanoid shapes moving in the darkness and moving in your direction. Not moving across your field of view, but moving toward you.
We should get out of the hole.
I agree. Let's
Yes.
go.
They're in one specific direction. They're not completely encircling us, right?
They're coming at you from several different directions. And in fact, there is, as this group gets closer, you can see there's a group of skeletal figures walking toward you with weapons drawn.
I don't like this.
And then behind them, you can see another set of outlines moving through the snow.
And is this in the direction towards the wall or in the direction towards...
They're walking towards the wall. You
know,
have
I
your
thought,
backs to the wall. They're walking toward you.
I thought the path here seemed a little too safe.
Mhm.
You can see these skeletons walking toward you. The skeletons look like they're moving pretty slow, and the zombies behind them are moving, because that's what these are. These are zombies. The zombies behind them are moving at slow zombie speed. You've seen zombies move before. The skeletons are keeping pace with them. And then behind those zombies, you can see two red glowing dots in the snow.
Ugh.
Uh-oh.